Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you very, very much for being here. We were warned about the astrological energy that was going around and what we could expect, but I swear I don't know that any of us could have expected this level of crazy this fast. So one of the things that's going to happen, it's Monday, and as you know, I don't typically release videos on Monday, nor do I do them on Sunday, which got released yesterday. Um, but I think this week might be a week of just mini readings, just because things are happening so fast, and let's just try to stay on top of the crazy, okay? So this morning, Eileen Cannon just dismissed throughout the case against Trump and with regards to the documents case. So this is the thing. The first thing I want to say about this is I really wish the media would stop just referring to it as the documents case, because it kind of sounds a little benign, right? They really need to talk about the security risks, and they need to find a more serious way to talk about what this case is. And they're going to need to figure it out pretty quick, because this thing is going to get appealed, and it's going to end up going to another judge. It's going to stay in, like, what is that, the Southern District of Florida? It's going to stay there. But the appeal is definitely, she's going to be reprimanded again. And the case is going to go forward. Now, this is the thing. As soon as I heard about what she had done, the immediate word I heard was impeachment. So take comfort from this, right? Because she can't be impeached unless the Dems have both the House and the Senate, right? Because otherwise it'll get blocked by Republicans. So take comfort from the fact she's not going to be impeached before the election. But I suspect after the election, when the new administration is in, I would not be at all surprised if she ended up being impeached for her choices and her decisions. She is so far outside appropriate behavior for a judge. So there's that. Let's take a quick look. Sorry about that. If you heard all the crazed barking, it was the UPS guy was here. All right, so we're going to take a quick peek at Judge Cannon. As I said, that case is going to get hustled right up to the appeals court, and she's going to be reprimanded. The crazy thing is that she hasn't done Trump any favors, right? She really hasn't. But there is an arrogance there. And whether that's coming from the Federalist Society or who knows what, but everyone's acting as if Trump will be returned to the presidency. And I mean, that's not going to happen. And it's fascinating to me that they, I don't know, are behaving as if it is going to happen, and they're being this arrogant and this in our face about it. So let's take a quick peek. Judge Cannon dismissing the case. As I'm recording this, I am aware of the fact that Josie Vance was selected as Trump's VP pick. All right, listen, let's at least acknowledge that it wasn't Don Jr. or one of his daughters-in-law. Could you know? I mean, hell, he could have even tried with Jared Kushner. Who knows? So, it's a disastrous choice. And, Vance has proven himself to be a very, very loyal sycophant. I'll do a mini on him. That'll get released probably tomorrow. But right now, let's just focus on Cannon and see what the fallout is going to be, really. I mean, that's what, you want to know. So here we go. Fallout, Cannon, decision, fallout, Cannon, decision, fallout, Cannon, decision. Hierophant. All right. The government, right? The court systems. So this is going to go to an appeals court, and a decision is going to be made. The decision will be made supporting Jack Smith, because he will be the one sort of bringing the appeal. He's going to do something different. I'm not quite sure what it is, but in some ways, because she threw it out, I mean, he can kind of reorganize things a little bit, and possibly even look at possibly removing some stuff because of, the brilliant Supreme Court decision. But it's going to go forward, and it's going to, the delay, I guess what I'm trying to say is the delay is not been a terrible thing. Yeah, we all wanted this done before the election, but one way or another, unless Trump, one, leaves the country, or two, leaves the planet, these cases are going to go ahead. And as I've said before, as a, two-time presidential loser, and, 34 whatever, and 2 impeachments, he's got less and less power. And after this next election, he's really going to find out that even the deference that he has been treated with in the last 4 years is going to actually come to a halt. All of the noise around this, ultimately, that sort of creating all that confusion, and her making these decisions don't even make any, they don't make any logical sense, never mind any legal sense. So she's done her job, basically. She followed the rules as they were laid out for her. I guess at some point we'll definitively know who laid out the rules, but definitely a fraction of very ultra conservative thinking was giving her advice. And of course, Clarence Thomas put that little line in the opinion about, we don't really think Jack's appropriately appointed, which is absolute garbage and trash, considering Bill Barr didn't have any trouble appointing people. And for years and decades, there hasn't been an issue. So that also is going to end up being challenged somewhere down the line. Expect things to move kind of fairly quickly, but don't expect this to come to the fore and resolve itself anytime near in the immediate future, as in before the election, because this is starting from scratch, right? I mean, this is not we'll just pick up where you guys left off, right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, even if it's appealed and we win the appeal and it goes to another judge, it just seems to me that they would almost sort of need to start that process over again. So it's going to take some time. The reality is this: Trump's good luck is coming to an end. We know that astrologically, that horseshoe that's been up his butt is about to fall out. And if you missed the video I did with Professional Aquarian, where we talked about astrological implications and what is going on, it was released a week ago Tuesday. Take a look at it. It's well worth watching. But his luck is turning, all right? And there's going to be a lot of light shed on things that really he would preferred kind of stayed in the dark and stayed quiet. But what he's doing, what's going on now is he is pushing, and the conservatives are pushing so hard to try to slam everything through, that ultimately that's going to backfire, okay? And listen, this is the thing. I understand this. He has always been the greedy wannabe king. All right. This has always been Trump's card for me in my readings. And nothing changes who he is on a fundamental level. Not an attempted assassination, not, winning cases or losing cases, not even Supreme Court decisions that are flawed. He is what he is and who he is. And what he is a, malignant narcissist. That's what he is. And his behavior is in sync with that personality. So if anybody thought that some of the stuff was going to cause him to think again or back down or reform in any way, yeah, that is like a fantasy that's never going to happen. In fact, if anything, it will amplify the behavior. So Judge Cannon has basically and fundamentally ruined her career, charging ahead and doing what she was told to do. On some level, even she was recognizing that, throwing out the case was going to be a problem. But for whatever reason, she didn't feel that she had an option. And listen, the timing, was calculated. All right. She could have done this on Friday. She could have done this on Thursday. She could have done it at the end of this week. But no. It happened on the morning of the RNC convention starting. Okay. This is interesting. Both the page and the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands has shown up. So this is talking about, the whirlwind around that, sort of defying the law, and the fact that that's not going to ultimately play well. The messages that are getting sent are, it's causing people to sort of get their back up and go, sometimes things are just a step too far. We'll put up with this and we'll put up with that and we'll put up this and then enough. That's where you're at. Got the devil showing up here. Okay. And so there were deals that were made. There were perhaps promises that were kept. I don't know, rewards that were given out. I mean, let's not forget the devil also represents, greed, right? And whether it's greed for power, greed for money, whatever it is, there's that. This attempt, and it goes way beyond Trump, and frankly, it goes way beyond Canada. But this attempt to go back in time, Federalist Society, Project 2025, what's the other one? Agenda 47. This attempt to sort of reverse time. And literally, make no mistake. Project 2025 wants to strip women of all their rights. They're not going to be able to vote. Never mind, have an abortion or take care of their own physical autonomy. They don't want you to have the vote. Women have become so strong, and men are terrified. And so their response to that is, let's destroy them. All right, let's literally strip them of anything that gives them any power or any say in anything. Let's literally keep them, barefoot and pregnant. Oh, well, and if a few of them happen to die along the way, that's okay. Because what used to happen, right? Well, the guy would just go find himself another wife and keep right on, making them babies, right? So that's the mentality we're dealing with here. Well, unfortunately, that mentality is being followed by the death card. So it's not going to work. There's not going to be this amazing rebirth. What there is going to be is an end to the kind of, nonsense, insanity that they are trying to promote. And make no mistake, canon is a part of that, and the ruling is all a part of that, right? It's about exerting power and pressure in places and in ways that has never been done before, not like this. But you know what? That's okay. We've got the King and the Queen of Swords showing up here, and we have the World, all right? So the law and lawyers, and whether this is Chutkin, or whether this Queen of Swords, it represents canon. The reality is that, or perhaps it represents, I don't know who might be on the appeal board, but the bottom line is ultimately the law is going to win on this, and it's going to cause an end. So let's all take a breath and be grateful. Listen, in no way, zero way, does this impact the election. It feels like it might. It feels a little scary. But the reality is that all this has done is draw people's attention back to that behavior. The taking of the documents, the not returning of the documents, being very cavalier about how they were stored, who he was sharing them with, what he was talking about. That brings it all back, because now this is the news. And yeah, you know what? The fact that she did this, and it's sort of being a little bit eclipsed by this convention, it's not going to stay eclipsed, because there's going to be the appeal process, et cetera, et cetera. So, this is what's so ironic about it, right? Is they keep trying to make things disappear, except all they end up doing is drawing more attention to it. And now there is already such a flurry and a fuss about Project 2025 and what's going on there, that, more people are starting to pay attention now, and they're going, wait a minute, what in hell is going on? And we can only hope and pray, and maybe energetically send that energy out, that while there is people paying attention to this RNC convention, that the media and news organizations talk about 2025, and they talk about the document handling and what went on there, and the need for Canon's decision to be appealed. Let's start talking about the other things that are really important, and not get distracted by the noise created by the convention. But either way, what we're looking at is the election going forward. Biden is still going to win, and the things that are being done to push the trouble away from Trump, unfortunately, is going to amplify it. So again, another situation where he just keeps shooting himself in his own damn foot. All right, that's what I know. Take good care of yourself. Do not let this get you stressed out, okay? Breathe through the anxiety. There's nothing to be anxious about. This is the right trying to force their agenda, and it's not going to work for them. So just stay in that space. And frankly, figure out what you can do to help promote the coming election in your country, right? I guess there's all kinds of organizations and things that you can get involved in. That may be actually a really good idea. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below, and the amazing Joyce is going to compile them, and we'll deal with them on Friday, on Pendulum Friday. And that's what I know for now. So until next time, take care and be well. Bye-bye.